Hello fellow cine enthusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reels movie review. Today's movie I will be reviewing is The Age of Adaline. The Age of Adaline is about this young woman named Adaline Bowman, played by Blake Lively, who had a decent life. She was born in 1908 at 12:01 on New Year's Day, and she met the love of her life. She married him, she had a daughter, and unfortunately he died young while he was helping to build the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. One night, Adaline was driving to a relative's house somewhere along a winding, dark road, and for the first time in decades, years and years and years, snow came to California, and it caused the roads to become treacherous, and Adaline lost control of the car, and she got into an accident. And this accident, what happened in it, causes Adaline to not age. She's not hurt badly. She was able to get out of the wreckage, but now she doesn't age. So while everybody else ages, such as her daughter, she stays the same. She has not changed one bit. Adaline not aging becomes a problem once her daughter is older and once her friends are older. This trouble that her not aging causes her to be on the run a lot. Every decade she gains a new identity and she moves away to a different town, but she always keeps in touch with her daughter, who is now a senior citizen while she still looks young and youthful. At this particular time in the movie, Adaline is now living as a woman named Jennifer Larson, and she's living in San Francisco. She is an archivist in a library. She goes out one night with a friend on New Year's Eve, and she meets this very handsome man named Ellis Jones, played by Michelle Huseman. I am so butchering his name. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. After the party, Ellis becomes a member of the board of the library that Jenny, Adaline, happens to work at, and he kind of starts flirting with her. She's hesitant to do anything with him, but obviously they become romantically involved, and it becomes a bit of a problem for Adaline because she doesn't want to get too attached, and she doesn't want anybody to know that she can't age. And poor Adaline really, really loves Ellis, and Ellis really, really loves her, and after one night where they had a bit of an argument, she decides to just go with it, and he asks her to come up to his family's place for the weekend since it's his parents' anniversary party. Adaline goes with him. When they arrive at the parents' house, Ellis's father, William, played by Harrison Ford, recognizes Adaline. He calls her Adaline, and she quickly recovers and says, "No, that was my mother," comes up with this whole story, and now William can't get her out of his mind, and he's so confused and conflicted. It turns out that William and Adaline had known each other in the 60s, and Adaline had been the great love of William's life. He was very close to her, and he was very upset when she left him. He was actually going to propose to her. Now, of course, William, knowing Adaline and figuring out that she really is Adaline and not Jenny Larson, that his son loves, it also causes issues like Adaline falling for Ellis has caused, because now she has to be on the run again, and she is very upset because she loves Ellis very, very much. And this is where I'm going to leave you, because the story of The Age of Adaline is so wonderful. It is such a fantastic, perfect story. I loved this movie literally from the time it started to the very, very, very end. And I know how much I liked it, and that I was very hooked and very invested in this story, because not once did I go on my iPad and go onto Tumblr or start looking up something else or playing a game on my phone. I really, really like this movie. I just thought it was completely perfect. It was just so perfect. It was such a different way of telling a love story. Now, I'm not one for romantic movies. I'm not one for chick flicks. I really, really do not like those stories. They're just so overdone and so overused. But The Age of Adaline was just so brilliant in the way it was narrated, the way it was told. There was not one moment in this entire story that was cheesy or totally, completely cliched. I don't even know. I'm just rambling at this point. That's just how much I loved The Age of Adaline. I knew I would probably like it. I didn't really go into it with like too much expectation, but I just wound up completely loving it. I'm definitely considering The Age of Adaline one of my all-time favorite movies. The cast was, again, I just have to throw that word out. It was perfect. Blake Lively was so wonderful. I really wasn't expecting anything too fantastic to come out of her. I know she was in like TV shows. I've seen bits and pieces of whatever TV show she was in, and she was okay. But right from the get-go, when she first comes on screen, I just loved her. I could not picture anyone else being Adeline but her. And apparently Katherine Heigl was supposed to be Adeline at first. And as much as I adore Katherine Heigl, I don't think she would have done a better job than Blake Lively did. A huge part of the reason why I wanted to see The Age of Adaline was for Michael, I don't know how you pronounce his name, Huisman. I'm just going to call him Cal because that is his character from Orphan Black, and that is why I adore him so much. I think he was excellent on Orphan Black. And for Game of Thrones fans, I think his name is Dario on Game of Thrones. I've seen bits and pieces of him on that show. I really like him as an actor, and I was very interested to see what he would be like in something else besides Game of Thrones, besides as Cal Morrison on Orphan Black, and I wound up loving him. I thought him and Blake Lively together were wonderful, and he is such a good actor. I was just falling in love with him. He was just such a sweet guy. His character was so sweet. He perfectly played Ellis. He was wonderful as Ellis. Harrison Ford was great in this movie too. I liked how, even though he loved Adeline, she was the love of his life, he still loved his wife. He had to tell her that, yes, we were close, but who have I been with for the past 40 years? And that never changed. He loved his wife. And even when he was confronted with the real Adeline, there was just this sense of loss between them, and it was just so long ago that loss happened, and he had kind of gotten over it, but it was also because he saw how much Ellis really, really loved her too, that he was able to finally move on from Adeline. The Age of Adaline, as I rambled on and on and on about, is such a wonderful movie. I really just love how well made it was. Everything about it was just brilliant. It was so brilliant. It was just such a different way to tell a romantic story, and that made me happy when a genre so tried and true and just done to death and beaten over the head so much can be done so differently and with such a unique way of telling this story, and without it being cheesy. I promise you, as I said, there is not one cheesy, cliched moment in this entire movie and this entire story. It's just so well made. It's so absolutely well made. I cannot recommend The Age of Adaline enough to you to go and watch as soon as you can. Thank you for watching my review of The Age of Adaline. If you like this in any way, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below so we can further discuss this movie. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button for future movie reviews. As always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.